Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick number 5 of my favorite 31 debut albums of all time. Those top debuts, that first album where a band or an artist completely knocked it out of the park right off the bat. Again, like we've said all month, some bands, some artists, took them a couple albums to really get their footing and kind of, get that momentum going. And that debut, maybe not so great. Follow-up album's pretty great. But these bands, these artists we're talking about here this month, the ones that made the final cut of 31, pretty damn special. Today, we've got a debut from an American band. This was released April 28th, 1969, recorded at CBS Studios on 30th Street in New York City. Produced by James William Guercio for Columbia Records. Yes, that's right. A double album as a debut. Who would do this other than Chicago? Chicago Transit Authority, as they were called on that very, very first album. Of course, they changed the name just to Chicago after this debut, but they were known as the CTA, Chicago Transit Authority, initially. And, of course, with the classic lineup of the band, Peter Cetera on bass, lead and backing vocals, Terry Kath, one of the great guitar players of all time, guitars, lead and backing vocals, Robert Lamb, keyboards, lead and backing vocals. Yes, we had lots of singers in this band. Lee Lignane on trumpet, backing vocals, James Pankow, trombone, percussion, Walter Parazater, saxophone, tambourine, backing vocals, and Danny Serafin on drums and percussion. Yes, indeed. Double album, like I said. Not only was their debut a double album, their second album was a double album, their third album was a double album, their fourth album was a big, gigantic live set as well. Right? It wasn't until their fifth album that they said, all right, we'll do a regular album like everybody else now with Chicago 5, right? But they had another double album not too far off, right? Chicago 7, that was a double too. So, and classic logo, right? Starts off right here. Of course, the album begins with the great, and there's lots, and again, Chicago. What is Chicago at this point in time in 1969? Well, Chicago, through a good chunk of the 70s, was not the massive hit machine that they were in the 80s, although they had plenty of hits, and they sold lots of albums in the 70s, but they were more of a horn-led jazz rock band with a absolutely fiery guitar player, like I said, multiple singers. They played blues, R&B, jazz and jazz rock, prog, hard rock, improvisational type stuff. You kind of blend all this together. Pop, that was Chicago. That basically any style of music was up for grabs with these guys. Starts off with the great song Introduction. The amazing horn arrangements. So good, right? The great rhythms, right? And Terry Kath's just lethal guitar licks. Introduction, such a great, great song. Terry sings this particular one. Then, of course, you got the great, unforgettable pop song, Does Anybody Really Know What Time It Is? Written and sung by Robert Lamb. Finishing off side one, you've got Beginnings, right? That great acoustic guitar intro, right? Just great, breezy kind of pop rock song. Great chorus. Beginnings, another song sung by Robert Lamb. Over on side 2, you got Questions 67 and 68 with Cetera and Lamb on vocals. Majestic rock song, right? Pop song. Listen, good rocker. It's another Lamb sung song. And then, of course, you got Poem 58. Terrific rocker. Again, sung by Robert Lamb. Great guitar work on that from Terry Kath. Side 3. Side 3 is kind of like the Terry Kath side here. You got freeform guitar, the instrumental, which is just basically Terry doing all sorts of crazy, noisy things with his guitar and his whammy bar, right? Just absolute 7 minutes of that. Some may feel it's a little overkill, but at the time, other than Hendrix, who was doing stuff like this? Nobody. South California Purples, that's the big crushing song on here that opens up with just an amazing, amazing guitar solo from Terry Kath, big hard rocker, just great heavy blues rock. And then, of course, their amazing take on the Spencer Davis Group classic I'm a Man, which to me, this is even better than the original. I absolutely love I'm a Man. Again, Terry is just amazing on here. Great stuff. And then over on side 4, you got some cool stuff. It starts off with Prologue, August 29th, 1968. All right, which is basically just a little bit of, newsy type stuff there. Sound bites and stuff like that. Then, of course, Someday, August 29th, 1968. Prologue, Someday. That's pretty cool too. And then that leads into Liberation, which is the big, long, nearly 14-minute epic to close out the album. Again, jazz rock at its finest. So good. Liberation is tremendous. Lead vocals from Terry Kath on that. So all told, just under 80 minutes of music here on this double album. Incredible stuff. Just incredible. I think this album gets better with age. You could argue that Chicago 2 maybe had some of the more memorable tracks, plus the big long suites and things. But to me, Chicago Transit Authority, the debut, will never be beaten by any other Chicago album. So good. Australia made it to number 23 on the charts. Canada, number 10. Dutch charts, number 6. Norway, number 8. UK album charts, number 9. US Billboard charts made it to number 17. All right. And certifications in Canada, this was a platinum album, 100,000 units sold, and United States, double platinum, 2 million copies sold of Chicago Transit Authority. Of course, their sales would only continue to climb after this one. This was just the start of everything. As far as singles go, Question 67 and 68 with I'm a Man on the flip side was released as a single in July 1969. I'm a Man was released as a single in the UK, January 1970. Beginnings came out here October 1969, and Does Anybody Really Know What Time It Is was released also in October 1970. That was the big hit from this album. So yeah, that's my pick for today. Chicago Transit Authority, self-titled double album debut from the band now known as Chicago. Right? So let us know what you think of this beast of an album down in the comments below, as well as your pick for today. Pick number 5. We're in the top 5. What are we pivoting to next month, you may ask? I've kind of waited too long to announce it, but I think I kind of hinted at it a month or so ago. So we're, by popular demand, everybody seemed to really love the guitarist thing that we did last month. So we're going to switch over to drummers, which is going to be tough for me because, again, I usually pay more attention to guitar players. I do have my favorite drummers and whatnot. So it is 30 days in the month of November, so I'm going to pick out my 30 favorite drummers with my 3 favorite albums that they appeared on as far as my drum performances, where I think the 3 albums that have their best drumming overall, and then my favorite drum performance from all of them. So everybody, you got your homework to do. I know I should have announced this a couple days ago, but I kind of forgot. You know how it goes. I got the olds. So you got a couple days to start getting your list ready. So favorite 30 drummers. We're going to count down from number 30 all the way to number 1, starting on November 1st, with your 3 favorite albums featuring their drumming and your favorite drum performance, that song that has the most amazing drumming that just instantly draws you in, right? So start getting your list together and visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below, get the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, and our Cameo page. Thank you in advance for all your support there. It's greatly appreciated, and we'll see you soon here with more stuff. I am Pete Pardo. Have a good one, everybody. Take care.